Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tab and I like to talk about books. In the second episode of my Read It and Return It, which basically is me just reading my library books and returning them, I am going to read three new books to me. The first one is Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. I know this is a little bit late to the game. I'm going to read this, but I'm also going to be making a companion video that is going to be all of spoilers. So I'm going to read this in every few chapters. I'm going to talk about it, and there are going to be spoilers, but that's going to be a whole separate video with plenty saying that it's spoilers. The second book that I am going to read is A Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This is the third installment in the Rose Hill series. I cannot wait to pick this one up. And the last book that I'm going to be reading in this video is Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco. This is the second book in the Prince of Sin series, and I really enjoyed the first one, so I can't wait to pick back up in this world, but it is chunky. I think it's like 504 pages. I feel like fantasy books, they're just like bigger, and just like the pages are bigger. I mean, granted, the font is relatively big. It's not like it's small, like super small font, but this book just seems like it is so large and intimidating. But regardless, I can't wait to pick it up. So I will be back to update once I'm a little bit into Zodiac Academy. So I am 14% into The Awakening, which is the first Zodiac Academy book. And when I first started this book, it was very much two twin sisters, like, causing havoc. They both kind of have like sketchy jobs. There's breaking, entering, hot wiring motorcycles. And like, I thought this was at like a school for like magic. So that's where I'm at now. They haven't even really like done anything at Zodiac Academy. All I know is that they have to graduate Zodiac Academy in order to become the queens. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, it's good so far, but it's just, I don't know. I'm also doing a spoiler video. I'm breaking the book into 4 different videos. So I think that's kind of throwing me off because like as I'm reading, I'm also stopping to type. So I'm not really fully in the zone, like reading everything, like going straight through. I'm like reading and then typing, reading, recapping. So maybe that could be it, but I'm interested. I can't believe I'm already 14% in. The book really reads fast. Hear me when I say I
have found my favorite series of all time, and I've only read the first book. Zodiac Academy, the first book, The Awakening. Oh my God. I stood up until 1 a.m. completely finishing this book. I could not go to sleep, and never have I ever picked up a second book in a series right away. I've never done that, but I ended up reading 10% into Ruthless Fae, which is the second book in this series, before I was like, whoa, I don't... I've done it before, like many years ago when I was first into reading, and I burnt out way too quick. Like, I am not a serial reader. Like, I can't read a trilogy in one sitting. I get so burnt out on book 3 that I'm not fully, like, digesting and appreciating the story because I'm just so sick of, like, being in this. So I told myself, I'm going to take my time with this series. Out the window. Already to 10%. I am going to put it down because I have 2 other books that I want to get to in this video. And I think I'm actually going to add a 4th book. It's, it's a manga. I'll figure it out. It's like cool guy and ice girl, ice guy and cool girl. It's a manga. It's cute and it's like a workplace romance, but I'll talk about that. That will be the 4th book I'll add in here. But this book, I don't even know my emotions because the 4 heirs in this book are so horrific. It's a bully romance. Everyone understands that, but until you actually read it, you don't understand how big of bullies these guys are. Like, to the point of, like, wanting to kill people. And I'm trying to wrap my head around how these 2 twin girls, Darcy and Tori, how they end up finding their soulmates or marrying any of these 4 guys. I know who they end up marrying, but I can't wait to see how this unfolds. So basically, this story follows Darcy and Tori. They are living in the human world. They are foster kids. They have been from house to house. They recently just turned 18. So now they are living on their own in Chicago. And it just so happens Tori is like a stealer of things, like cars, motorcycles, to bring them to someone to sell them to him and hopefully get some money. So that's how these sisters make their money, is by Tori like stealing things and selling it to like the black market. Anyway, a guy stops her at the bar after she does her latest sell, and basically we're like, who the heck is this? His name is, we don't know his name, but it ends up being Professor Orion. So they are the lost heirs of Solaria, and that is where they were born. They were somehow switched at birth and brought to the mortal world. Of course, they think this guy is like cuckoo crazy until he poofs some stardust in their face and they end up in Solaria. Now, the terms of their contract, well, not the terms of their contract, but in order to get their inheritance, they need to pass the reckoning, which is like a pre-assessment, midterm type of deal, and they need to graduate Zodiac Academy. Once they do that, it's a college, then they can, 1, get their inheritance, and 2, hopefully claim the throne of Solaria. Who knows how this will happen? Currently, there are the 4 elemental houses are like running Solaria. So it's the house of earth, wind, fire, and water. Those like guys are all, well, it's not even guys. Those 4 are currently reigning over Solaria. But those 4, each one of them, their kids are in the Zodiac Academy, and they were pretty much brought up and raised to take over for their parents. So they're like the big group of 4 bullies, and all of a sudden now they're told that these infamous, precious Vega twins are alive, well, and they're at Zodiac Academy to come back and hopefully go and be the rightful heirs of Solaria. The girls don't want to be the rightful heirs to anything. They just want their inheritance. They're used to living poor. They want security. And then it just unfolds so many lies to see. I was fooled. I was fooled so many times. You want to love these characters because I think it's embedded in our brain that when you read like any type of romance, even dark romance, you're always looking for the good in every single character. And sometimes characters just aren't good. There's shapeshifters, sirens, werewolves, vampires. There's so much going on in here. It was so confusing. And these girls, they know they are the most powerful. They have powers and magic from all four elements. Usually, if you only have two elements for power, you're considered like extremely extraordinary, but they have all four. So not only are they the most powerful, they don't know what to do with this power. They just got dumped here a week ago. And these people have lived in Solaria and have been brought up around this, and they know how to be fae. They know everything. And these girls are just dumped here and it's like sink or swim. So seeing their it seems like so dramatic, like overcome all these battles. It is a fictional novel, but to see how they like progress just in book one. Book one was so good. The last maybe like 30% was the best to me. It's where like the action really picked up and the characters kind of got comfortable with each other, but not enough. There's Professor Orion, the four heirs that are currently like groomed to be the next leaders of Solaria. Then there's the two Vega twins, and then there's also like friends mixed in. There's Diego and Sophia, and they're kind of like an item, or you're led to believe that they're going to be an item because they're like just the two other like best friends. There's mean girls, there's mean teachers, there's friendly teachers. It is like a dark Hogwarts. And I never thought I'd get that feeling back again, especially as a mid 30-year-old that I got when I read Hogwarts. But this is better. I think just because it's like more of an adult book and it's not, little kids running around. But this is so good. Please pick it up. I rated it 5 stars and it was only 1 on my spicy scale. And I'm itching so bad to just keep going in this series, and I can't wait to finish a few other books so that I can jump right back in. And I also am doing a full spoiler video on this book. It's its own separate video. It's going to be a series of 4 videos broken down by chapters, and I have like pages upon pages of notes. I am just so into this book. I want everyone to read this. Okay. Coming down from that high. The second book that I'm going to read in this vlog is Wildside by Elsie Silver. This is the 3rd book in the Rose Hill series. It follows Reese and Tabitha, which I have never read a book where the main character's name is Tabitha. I am so for it. I can't wait to see their story because Reese seems so mysterious, dark, broody, and I can't wait to see how this ends up playing out. So when Tabitha's nephew's guardianship is contested, she decides she'll do whatever it takes to keep him in Rose Hill, even if it means marrying the enemy, Reese Duprice. A man who is secretive, broody, and completely infuriating. A man whose work takes him away for weeks on end and brings him back covered in mysterious bruises. Ones he won't talk about. In fact, Tabitha and Reese barely talk at all, which would be fine, except when he's not talking, he's staring. And the way he looks at her is borderline indecent. Oh my God. I can't wait to read this. I'm going to start it now and I will be back to update.
I ended up finishing Wildside by Elsie Silver, and oh my God. This book was 4.5 stars and 3 on my spice scale. Let me tell you, the biggest takeaway from this book is found family. Found family and learning to love and open yourself up. I think this was, the book before this with West and the pop star. Oh, she's Skylar. It was very light and fluffy. West is just such a lovable, goofy character. But this book, Reese is such an emotionally secretive person. And he does not just give anyone his feelings, his attention, and his love. Oh my God. Reese is a professional wrestler who values his privacy and autonomy, and he does not want the world to know who he is. He wears a mask all the time. He owns a duplex. He lives on one side, and he was renting out the other side to Tabitha's sister, Erica, who has a 3-year-old son, Milo. He ends up taking care of Milo, babysitting. He becomes a really important figure in Milo's life. Very platonic relationship with Erica, nothing like that. Tabitha shows up 2 years later and explains that Erica passed away. So then Reese is like, oh my God, like I'm, so sorry. He then comes back a day later and explains, hey, we need to talk. And he's holding up papers, which is Erica's will. That's where the story unfolds. There's push and pull, and they're trying to figure out what the best thing to do for Milo is, because he lives in Florida. He travels a lot for his job, and they live in Canada. So it's not just a hop, skip, and a jump away. It's a lot to go visit them and for Reese to continuously go up there. So he wants to take Milo with him back to Florida as technically his legal guardian, and Tabitha just ain't having it. There's going to be one more book in this series. The 4th book, I believe, is Wild Card, and that follows Bash, who is another dad in the Thursday Night Bowling Club, the dad bowling club, and Gwen, who's new in town as a yoga instructor. And it's a different dynamic. It's like an age gap, boyfriend's ex-girlfriend type of deal, which that's like on the blurb, and it's not like, a hidden secret, but I cannot wait to read that one. I'm just like so sad that this series is going to be done after that, but I'm also very interested to see what exactly she has up her sleeve for her next books. But there's definitely plenty of the Elsie Silver signature spice scenes, so much love, laughter. I got teary-eyed. It's just always so huge with found family, and just that it's like wrapping yourself up in a warm blanket. Like all these characters, they're just so perfect. Now, for my third and last book that I'm going to pick up here is Throne of Secrets by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the second book in the Prince of Sin series, which I think there's going to be, I don't know if there's going to be quite a few, but if it goes by like the sins, the 7 deadly sins, then maybe there's going to be 7 books, but I'm not sure. And all I know is sometimes these like fantasy romantasy books, they have such good and like cover chapter illustrations, and like, well, I can't say because it has like a big thing from the library I got it from, but okay, like this back here, their cover illustrations and like inside cover, just so pretty. No other book seems to do that, and I wonder why. It just seems like fantasy books put in the little extra effort to like make the chapters look pretty. I know it's more ink. It really doesn't do anything to the story, but with a big chunky book like this, it makes it kind of a little bit more, like it breaks it up a little bit more when you see like cute things in there. I don't know. Maybe I'm rambling. But yeah, I'm going to start a little bit of this tonight, and then I will be back tomorrow to either update or to fill you in on what I finished, because tomorrow is Saturday and I'm thinking of filming a 24-hour
reading vlog, which I've never really done that. I'm not the type that I can't sit down in one sitting and read for like 9 hours. I can read a whole book in a day. I can read 600 pages in a day, but it's very much like broken up. And I just hope I can be here to like record every time that I read and like start and stop the clock. So we'll see. It could end up being an epic fail and you'll never see a 24-hour reading vlog. So who knows? But I will be back to update tomorrow. It is the next morning and I am here to show you all my new 6-star read, Throne of Secrets by Kerri Maniscalco. Oh my God, this book is my favorite book I have ever read. I only have one other 6-star read, which is A Court of Mist and Fury, but literally same kind of plot as this. Not plot, I mean, it's the same as it's a romantasy fantasy. It's enemies to lovers. They're trying to stop something bad from happening to like their realm or kingdom. It's the same pretense, but like the characters, everything is just like so different. And this book is everything. So much so that I literally went on Instagram to send a direct message to the author just explaining how great this book is. And if she ever starts to doubt herself, I hope that this message like pops back in her head, because I love this book. I have never reached out to an author and I felt a little bit like cringy kind of doing it. But in that moment, I didn't even care. I needed this author to know that she is amazing in every way, shape, or form. Now, this is it's the second book in the Prince of Sin series. However, I do not think you don't need to read the first book in order to pick this book up. The characters are mentioned, but like that book tied up. It wasn't like like it ended on a cliffhanger and like book 2 was gonna start with them finishing. It ended fine, book 1. So this is like its own entity and it is so amazing. Like I said, this was 6 stars. It is 4 on the spicy scale. It could have it could have been bumped up to 5, but a lot of like what constitutes to me as 5-star spice, it was like in the background and just said that it was like observed really quickly in passing. It wasn't like in detail. So I figured that it wasn't like 5-star spice worthy, but you start off with a bang, and the tension between these two characters, Adriana and Gabriel, it is so perfect. Do you know how hard it is to solve that equation? I'm sure as an author, to get the perfect mix of enemies, angst, and then love to keep a reader completely entertained. She did this. I will stand on this cliff till the day that I die shouting the love I have for this book. And it's the second book. Like I said, the first book I rated 4 stars. This book was better. Usually the second book is like meh. Maybe it's because it's like another standalone, like a loosely interconnected standalone, like where the characters from book 1 are going into book 2. It's the same world, the same brothers and whatnot. But maybe because it was like a whole new story, like sophomore slump did not hit this series. Oh my God, I wrote so many notes. So this follows the King of Gluttony, who is Gabriel. It opens up with him and his most bravest circle of men and his brother, the Prince of Wrath, sparring with ice dragons. So ice dragons live on like the northernmost part of his kingdom that he rules, and they have like an agreement that they'll spar with each other, but only until like first bloodshed. Not like no one needs to be hospitalized, no one dies. It's like supposed to be fun to keep everyone's skills up, and they're ice dragons. And it takes a deadly turn, and then it all unfolds from there. Adriana is a reporter for like the local gossip rags, and she and Gabriel had a falling out a decade ago, and she cannot let it go. She's still so deeply wounded, and Gabriel has no idea why she's so upset. Like, his version of the night is very different from her version, but because he's the king of gluttony and he overindulges in things, he decides to just go along with this enemy's feud because it fuels his sin. So, oh my God, the world is just so fascinating. Like, it's just, everything's indulgent. Like, this is like their kingdom of sin is indulgent. So the food is great, the clothes are great, everything, the passion, it is just so, it's so wild. I love this world. I love this world. So Gabriel messes up, kind of like he does a little naughty, which in turn has to take the heat off of him and his inner circle and like his kingdom, the stuff that's going on outside of like what people can see. So he decides to do like a bachelor contestant show to try and find himself a wife. So each house of sin, which there's 7, gets to elect one person to send to the king of gluttony's like kingdom to participate for his love. And it can be a noble person or it can be a commoner. So there's 7 people total, and Adriana happens to also be there, not as a contestant though. He wants Adriana to stay close so she can stop digging around and report on her inner gossip rags. So, okay. The things that this book had. First of all, the action, the dragons, the enemies to lovers, the romance, the spice. This book didn't wait till the last chapter to be spicy. King of Gluttony loves to indulge, and not on himself. He loves to indulge and make other people feel so satiated and happy and overindulged. And that feeds his sin and gives him his power, regenerates his power. There's plot twists, misunderstandings, all the side characters are perfect. There's a baby dragon. Oh my God. And honest to God, the ending. The ending was so perfect. My emotions were all over the place yesterday. I needed to sleep on it to come back here and talk about it. But like, my emotions are still all over the place, but nothing's changed besides like, if I could rate this a 7-star, this is like a holy grail book. I know they usually do that for series, but this book is everything. I can't fathom another book topping this. I've never felt this way after reading a book. Seriously, if you listen to anything that I say or want to read any recommendations that I suggest, it's this one. Throne of Secrets. It's intimidating. It's over 500 pages. It's a fantasy romance. It's a second in a series. You can read it as a standalone. It is so perfect. I love it. Please read it. Report back to me. If you don't like it, you can express that, but I will completely ignore you. In one ear, out the other. I have 2 kids. I'm a pro at it. Pick it up, please. Okay, now that I am back to reality, barely, I am going to pick up one extra like book. So The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl. It's a manga. I wonder if you can see it. This is the cover. I'm gonna read it on my iPad just because it's color. But oh my God. It's like, so I never thought to like do digital graphic novels on my iPad. I almost got a Kindle Colorsoft for this, and then I'm like, listen, I have an iPad, which is like, color's way more better than the Kindle Soft. Okay, so this is 128 pages, and I'm trying to see how many books are in the series. I think so far, well, no, I think in general there's 10 books in the series, and I hope that they are all on Libby because I already can feel I'm going to want to completely binge this. So it says, sparks fly between the handsome descendant of a snow spirit and the oblivious coworker he has a crush on. a romantic comedy in an office setting that takes coworkers to lovers to new heights within a wintry wonderland of emotions. Himuro is a modern day ice god, an ordinary office worker who just so happens to be the descendant of a snow spirit. He's also besotted with his coworker Fuyutisuki, oh man, who's a little unusual herself. At first glance, the pair both seem to be calm, cool, and collected, but beneath Himuro's icy good looks rages a passionate blizzard of love. On the other hand, his coworker's cool facade believes nothing about the feelings she might have for Himuro in return because she's too oblivious to realize anything. What's a snowstorm in love to do? Sweet, no brain power, no emotional damage after I read it. I cannot wait. And I'm doing like a 24-hour like readathon vlog like simultaneously with this, so I'm getting all confused on which book I'm reading for what. I almost ended up reading the same books for both of them, but I'm like, I can't do that because why? There'd be like no difference. So I will be back to update when I finish this book and do, of course, a recap of all the books that I read during this Read It and Return It episode. I finished The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl. It is a manga, and I rated it 3.5 stars, and there was no spice. This was so cute. It's like a workplace romance. The male main character is like a descendant of an ice spirit, so he cannot control his emotions. And when he gets extremely happy, lovable, sad, like a wintry mix starts happening. Either hallways are frozen, it's snowing above him at a restaurant, he's in a igloo in work, he's just always surrounded by ice, snow, sleet when he can't control his emotions. The female main character, I'm not even going to try and pronounce her name, I'm going to jack it all up. She is so sweet. She always is thinking of the male main character. She makes him things, she brings things in, and he is in love with her. Like, every other page, he's like, I love her so much. He's like infatuated. And when he gets infatuated, a snowstorm happens, a blizzard. He can't go to the beach because he loves the water so much in the ocean that it ends up turning it into a blizzard. And the female main character, said there are 3 things that Himuro likes: flowers, cats, and nice people. So it's just like such a heartwarming, like the male main character loves cats. He can't pet cats or have a cat because it stirs up too much emotion and he creates like ice. So he in turn just watches cat videos on his phone, and it's a little bit creepy, but the female main character brings something in that's related to a cat, and it kind of like freaked me out a little bit. So yeah, this book was cute. I think there's like 10 volumes. I will definitely be picking it up. You can read these in like 20 minutes. It's not serious at all, and I am kind of looking forward to reading the rest of them. Okay, so I am here for my recap for this Read It and Return It. The first book I read was The Awakening, the first book in the Zodiac Academy series. I rated that 5 stars and 1 on my spicy scale. The second book I read was Wild Side by Elsie Silver. I rated that 4.5 stars, and it was 3 on my spicy scale. The third book I read was Throne of Secrets by Kerri Maniscalco. That is my number 1 book. It was 6 stars and 4 on my spicy scale. That is my favorite book to date. I love that book. Please read it. And the fourth book I read was The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl, which is a manga. I rated it 3.5 stars, and there was no spice. So as always, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me peruse through these books, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye!